My name is Grace, and I'll be hosting you with my colleague Frances later at these sessions. Over the next 60 minutes, we will cover three key areas. First, we will set the stage by looking at the new paradigm of AI and the opportunity it presents. Second, we'll dive into what it means to transform into a modern data platform, which will be the core of our sessions. Finally, look into the future, how to collaborate with new generative AI agents, and we will wrap up with a live Q&A. Let's start by seeing the shift in paradigm and what are our opportunities. If there's one story defining 2025, it will be the dawn of the agent. The entire paradigm has shifted. We've moved beyond just analytics into an era of actions. We are now no longer building a system that just asks what happened. We're now building a system that asks, what should I do next? And then that have the power to actually do it. This is all built on three key pillars. The first one is the brain, the intelligent agents. These are the models that can perceive the world, reason, and make decisions. Next, the interface, generative experiences. This is how agents interact, creating dynamic content and personalized experiences for your users. Finally, the muscle, or the autonomous workflows. This is where it all comes together. The brain and the interface connect to execute complex tasks automatically. But the problem is, the ambition to use Gen AI is outpacing the ability to deploy it. While 85% of the companies are experimenting with or in limited productions with Gen AI, only a tiny fraction, just 5%, have applications fully implemented at scale. Why is this gap so huge? Because the existing data platforms were never designed for the AI era. They are too fragmented, too slow, and lack the governance needed to power the trusted AI. This creates a critical feedback loop. Your AI agents are only as smart as the data that fuels them. They need to be fueled by your specific governed business data to be useful. At the same time, your business data has become so complex and fast that it needs to be unlocked by AI agents for your employees to make sense of it. You cannot have one without the other. All organizations right now will have the access to the same large language models, or LLMs, name it like Gemini. But your true differentiator lies in how you combine your most valuable assets, which is your data, with these models. By grounding and fine-tuning models with your unique business data, you can power differentiated insights and experiences. This is where the unlock happens. Think of your business data as being locked away in a dashboard and static reports, accessible only to a few. AI agents can act as a key, making that information instantly available to everyone through conversational analytics. This allows agents to truly understand and leverage the unique context of your business information, providing highly relevant and accurate insights. How does Google Cloud deliver on this symbiotic relationship between data and AI? Our entire strategy is built on this concept, data and analytics with AI built in at every single level. This is not just an add-on or a single feature. It's a core part of the entire platform, from the bottom to the top. It starts at the foundations, with security and governance. In the middle layer, data and analytics, where AI is integrated directly into the data platform itself. So now you don't need to choose whether a platform is strong in data or a platform is strong in AI. And at the top of the layer, which is the business intelligence, where end users interact with AI. And this entire stack is built on three key principles, which is unified, open, and intelligent. Unified meaning we provide a single unified platform to break down both your data silos and your analytics silos. And open meaning our platform is embracing open standards, so you can connect to any data source in any cloud and use any tool you need. And of course, it's intelligent. AI is not just bolt on, it's woven into the fabric of the entire stack to make the system and your insights smarter. This philosophy is what allows us to build a new generations of AI and data agents. But why Google Cloud AI is the right choices for you? It really comes down into two key reasons. First, it's our deep real-world AI expertise. Google is not new to AI. We've been delivering AI-powered products and experiences like search, maps, and even translate to billions of customers worldwide for decades. We know how to build, scale, and manage AI responsibly and effectively. Second, you get to stay at the absolute cutting edge. Through Google Cloud, you get direct access to the latest, rigorously tested AI breakthrough from our research lab at Google DeepMind. So it's a powerful combination of proven large-scale expertise and world-class research that allows us to build the platform we're discussing today. Now, let's look at the traditional approach that most companies are still stuck with, probably one of you here. On the left, you have a critical data, but it's completely siloed. You have your data in SAP, Oracle, Teradata, Shopify, LinkedIn, Google Ads, and the list is endless. While on the right side, you have an equally siloed set of analytics tools. Some teams are using spreadsheet, others are using self-service BI tool, and your data science team is trying to build separate AI analytics. Then what you see here is a many-to-many mess. But the problem is everything that has to be happen in the middle. The traditional part is blocked by critical, time-consuming questions that the data teams spend all the time on. Firstly, where to get and store the different type of data? Do I build a new database for this? Or how do I handle all different formats? The second one, how to effectively process the data. This is where the data teams usually spend 80% of their time building a complex ETL pipelines. The third one, how do I keep my data freshness and consistency? How do I make sure the report that I'm looking at is not from the 3 weeks ago? And how do I know my definition of revenue is the same as the finance teams? And finally, after all that work, how do I actively gain the insights from the data? How do I get this to the business user in the way they can actually use it? This old way forces you into a series of bad trade-offs. As you can see at the bottom, it's high cost. It's almost never real-time, and it's definitely not easy to use. And it's not adaptive to new business questions. This entire process is slow, expensive, and brittle. It simply cannot keep up with the demands of the modern, AI-driven business, and this is the core problem that we first need to solve. Hence, the first step in our modern data journey is to simplify and unify your data analytics with BigQuery. As you see in the center, BigQuery acts as a single unified platform. It's the center of gravity that allows you to break down the silos and create centralized data source for the entire organizations. But you might ask, why BigQuery? The list on the right explains why it's not just another data warehouse. First, it's serverless. This is the game changer. You don't need to manage any infrastructure. You don't need to provision servers. It scales automatically and instantly from gigabytes to petabytes. So you only pay for what you use. It's multi-storage and multi-format as well, and this is the key to true unifications. BigQuery can store its own data, but it can also directly query your data right where it lives, whether that's in a data lake, in another cloud, or in open formats. You don't always have to move your data to analyze it. It's also multi-engine and multi-capability. This means it supports the right tool for the job, whether that's standard SQL for BI, BigQuery ML, or Spark, all on the same platform. And the most importantly for our conversations today, look at this last point, which is AI, ML, and LLM integrations. This is built in. You can create, train, and run machine learning models, or even call generative AI models using simple SQL. This puts powerful AI capabilities right where your data lives, and this deep integration that forms the foundations of all of the advanced analytics and GenAI agents we're about to discuss. As you've seen in the BigQuery column, it's not just a data warehouse or a lake. It's a unified platform that combines the power of structured and unstructured data. The new era requires a new kind of data platform. In the past, you were forced to make a false choice, which you can see in this table. On one side, you have a traditional data warehouse. These were great for structured data, business intelligence, and reporting, answering questions about what happened. On the other side, you had data lakes. These were built for data science, ML models, and exploratory analysis on unstructured data, predicting what might happen. You had to have two separate siloed systems, one for your data and one for your AI. This is the exact problem that stops AI from scaling. But I want to emphasize with BigQuery, you don't have to choose. Google's Data Cloud is designed to give you the best of both worlds. It can answer questions about what happened and build the AI models to predict the future all in one place. It provides unified governance and, most importantly, allow access not just through SQL programming, but through natural language, which is the key to unlock the power of generative AI. So if you take one thing away, let it be this. You no longer need to pick a platform that is strong in data or strong in AI. Google Cloud is built to provide both in a single unified platform, letting you leverage the full power of your data. In this next session, we're going to introduce the next step after centralizing the data. We'll show you how to add that single unified governance layer that sits between your data warehouse and all of your end users. This is how you can move from just having centralized data to having a single source of truth that everyone in the business can finally trust. Frances, over to you.
Thank you, Gracie. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Frances. I'm also from the customer engineering team, and I'm specialized in business intelligence and data analytics. So now let me walk you through the next part, which is about how we can transform to modern data platform. So as Gracie mentioned, we have taken that first big step and centralized the data in BigQuery. But centralizing your data is only half of the battle. And this is where many companies stop. And in doing so, they run straight into a new and very frustration problem. We call it analytics silos. So what happens on top of that centralized data layer in BigQuery? Imagine different teams will get very excited and they all start building their own logic, creating potentially redundant access control and even redundant storage. Imagine your finance team will connect to the data and build their own business logic for revenue in their spreadsheet. And then the marketing team might have their own BI tools and build a separate logic around revenue. And then the sales team might come in and create a third set of the logic, looking at, let's say, what is the sales and the ROI for their own reports. What happens is you ended up with redundant business logic all over the place. And when you get into a meeting, the common challenges on the right will be your everyday reality. Imagine you might end up with disparate data again, and the finance number don't match whatever other teams is presenting. This often leads to frustrated end user who just give up on data and go back to their gut feelings or their own little spreadsheet. And there is a complete lack of agility as well, because every new question now might require a new custom build report, and your insight to action is slow. You will probably have this heavy reliance on data expert again, who are now stuck in between, surfacing a huge backlog instead of doing high value work. And this is the core risk of centralizing your data without a modern analytics platform. You have solved one silo problem just to create another, and unfortunately, you still can't get the trust, speed, or AI readiness that you need. So this is what good looks like. This is the modern data analytics platform. Looking at the key differences, we have now introduced a new crucial layer in the middle called governance and control, and this is Looker. So instead of a chaotic free-for-all, Looker becomes the central gateway to your trusted data. So here how it works. Your data team no longer builds disposable reports. Instead, they define your business logic. your trusted definition for revenues, customer, last quarter, and all, only for one time within the Looker semantic model. And its job is to ensure that whatever a user is in any of those unlimited experience on the right, it could be a dashboard, a spreadsheet, or even an AI-powered application, everyone is pulling from the exact same business logic and single source of truth. This is how you move from just having centralized data to having centralized trust. So imagine when a user asks a question, Looker will receive these. It will apply that single governed business logic, generate the optimized SQL query for BigQuery, and then return that result. This is how Looker can help you to move from analytic silos to a single source of truth, moving from just centralized data to centralized trust for all users. And talking about AI, Looker was fundamentally built for this new AI-powered world. It's not just a dashboarding tool, it's a true modern analytics platform. The heart of Looker is its semantic layer, which is the blue box in the middle. So this layer connects to your data in BigQuery or any other SQL-based database or data warehouse within GCP or outside of the GCP ecosystem. And this provides the trusted business context. But more importantly, if you look at the backend of Looker, itself is extensible. It's built on an API-first architecture. So this means you can take these governed insights and AI capabilities out of Looker and extend it somewhere else. Let's say into your own custom applications, into an internal portals, or any other AI platform of your choice. This also gives you additional flexibility. You can now leverage Google's first-party large language model like Gemini, or even integrate with third-party or your own large language model of your choice. So Looker acts as the trust layer, regardless of what is your model of choice. And this opens up powerful cases like conversational BI, augmented analytics, which we will showcase here in just a moment, and even to expand into use cases like AI and machine learning task automation, or creating bespoke AI applications for both internal and external audience. So I think today we have mentioned the semantic layer a few times, and it is the most crucial component for making AI trust ready. So what is that? To put it simply, a semantic layer is like a translation layer. Think about a tool like Google Translate. You might see a sentence in a language you don't understand. To get the meaning, you need a tool to translate it from the unfamiliar to the familiar. And a semantic layer does this for your data. Your business user don't speak in complex SQL queries. They have business question, and they ask them in a business context in natural language. For example, what was our revenue last month? So they are not trying to ask a specific analytical query like what was the total sum of sales for all completed orders minus promotions, coupons, blah, 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 that occurred in the last complete calendar month. So this is where semantic model comes in. It translates that simple business question into a complex and accurate data query, and then translate the data result back into a business-friendly answer. And this is absolutely critical for AI. Many GenAI projects fails because they are built on shaky data foundation. They just pass your raw data to a large language model, and it might lead to inaccurate result or hallucinations because the AI has no business context that you all understand. And Looker's semantic model solves this. It provides that crucial context. It tells the AI, let's say, what revenue means. What is the field descriptions? Like how is your data related to each other? How can I drill down to the right level of details? It grounds the AI into your single source of truth. And this is proven to boost the AI accuracy by as much as 43% based on our internal research. It is a robust control plane of all your data, and it's what allows your users to confidently talk to their data, knowing the answer are accurate and governed. So when you put all of this together, this is how you can truly get an end-to-end modern data platform with the power of Gemini woven through every single layer. It starts from BigQuery, where Gemini can help your data engineers build data pipeline and manage data. Then it moves to Looker, where Gemini helps data analysts to build and manage that semantic layer. And finally, it empowers all the business users as well, where Gemini powers that conversational and augmented analytics experience, allowing them to get trusted answer in a way they never got before. This isn't just about like stitching AI on the top. It's about having AI assisting every single persona at every stage of the data lifecycle. So this brings us to the idea of AI agents. And these are some AI-powered assistants designed to help specific personas to do specific job. So let's start with the role that most of you probably resonate with, data analysts and business users. For analysts, an agent can help them to build and debug data model faster. For business user, an agent can help them find answer, understand trends, take actions without needing to be a data expert. So this kind of automation frees everyone up from manual, repetitive tasks to focus on high-value strategic work. But it doesn't stop there. We also have agents to empower your data engineers, let's say to automate pipeline creation and data cleansing, or data scientists to build and evaluate models more efficiently, and the rest of the other personas as well. The goal is to empower every data role as an intelligent collaborator in part of the process. So the key takeaway here is that there isn't just one magic AI agent. We have different agent or AI assistant designed to support your different user personas and their unique requirements. So for today, I'm going to focus on the first two that you see, which will resonate with most of you, which is for business users and also the data analysts. Let's see how you can get a self-service agent to help you to find your own answer quicker. But you can also see that for the platform itself, it empowers everyone. We have data engineering agents that helps to automate complex data pipeline and data cleaning. We have data science agent that helps with feature engineering and building new models. And we also have the data agents for developers that help developers, let's say, to embed this intelligence into a custom built application. So we're trying to get every persona, every one of you covered. But let's start with the area that delivers the fastest and the broadest value, which is for your business users. So let's start with what's most useful for the mass audience. We are going to look at two fast to value use cases that leverage GenAI to solve some very common problems. First is with dashboard summary to help business users to better understand any existing dashboard and report and uncover the insight. Second, with conversational analytics is to help business user to have self-service experience where they can answer their own question fast. So let me set the scene. I'm sure we all use report and dashboard in some contexts, and sometimes you might have this feeling of dashboard overload. Many companies have hundreds or even thousands of dashboard. Imagine a business user like you yourself may need to open a complex report and you're just staring a wall of charts and numbers. It might not be easy to figure out what to look at, why it matters, what to do next. All the dashboard tells is what has happened, what are the metrics, what are the numbers, but not necessarily about the why and what now and what next. So this is where dashboard summary comes in. It brings in the GenAI capabilities side by side next to an existing dashboard, automatically analyze the data and provide clear and concise summary of the key insights, trends, and even suggest the next step, or in plain language or any other language supported by Gemini. Let's see this in action. So what we are looking at here is a dashboard summary. And within a Looker dashboard, what you're seeing here today is actually plugging into a Gemini supported extension. And what I'm doing on the screen right now is to go through different kinds of prompt. We have different style that is suitable for executive analysts and stakeholders. And of course, you can fine tune it. So even though this is a rather simple use case of a dashboard, only some KPIs and some visualization, but now in real time, you can see that actually it's managed to translate and summarize all the insights for you in natural language in a certain structure, sharing what is the key metrics, what is the actionable insights, and even some impact on next step. Because we have 5 visualizations here, if I scroll all the way down, there's going to be 5 write-up describing everything you see within a dashboard. So now you are having better understanding of the data. And if you want to take it to the next step, all you need to do is you just need to share it across to Slack or Google Chat or anywhere that collaboration is being done. And that's how easy it is for you to have data-driven collaboration based on data and insights. And it's all augmented by Gemini and the GenAI capabilities in real time. So as you can see, this capability completely changes the dashboard experience for business user. Instead of seeing the presentation of data, it delivers that augmented intelligence. It helps users to spot trends, find the signal and the noise, and immediately understand what actions they may need to take, all without any manual analysis. And it also provides that actionable next steps. It moves you beyond just observing the data to acting on it, and it even gives you additional ideas to brainstorm and to think about. And immediately, you can then share that specific insights over collaboration tools like email or Slack to quickly activate the insight with your team. It's all about closing that gap between seeing an insight and taking a business action. And this is easy plugin that is available to any of the dashboard that you have. Now, let's talk about an even bigger bottleneck. When a business user look at the dashboard, imagine after they have find some insights, they might immediately have a follow-up question. Okay, this is great, but can I see this breakdown by maybe the customer segment? Or can I zoom in, let's say, just for APAC region or for a certain country? So in a traditional analytics platform, what happens? For business user, they can't usually change the report by themselves because traditional tools are too complex. So usually they will file a ticket with the data team. And the ticket goes into a long queue. By the time they get an answer, it can take hours, days, or weeks. They might have passed it, the business moment is lost. So now imagine we're bringing in GenAI agents into BI. Instead of a static dashboard, what if you could just chat with your data? What if you could ask that follow-up question in plain English and get an answer with a chart in seconds? And that's conversational analytics. It allows you to explore data directly without relying on a technical team. Let's see in real life.
This is Looker Conversational Analytics, powered by Gemini. It's grounded in Looker's semantic layer, which ensures consistent and trustworthy results using the same business definitions across your organization. We'll start by selecting our governed data source on orders, items, and users. For a business user, it can be hard to know where to begin. Conversational analytics helps by suggesting common questions to get you started. I'll be a sales and marketing manager at an e-commerce company today. I'll ask, what is the total sales revenue for each order status? The system translates my question into a query using our governed semantic layer, ensuring accurate results and reducing misinterpretation. And just like that, we have our results. We see a data table and a bar chart showing the total sales revenue for each order status. It's clear that the majority of our sales come from complete orders. For full transparency, you can click How was this calculated? This shows the exact query that was run, proving that our conversational tool isn't a black box. The tool is conversational, so we can continue our analysis. Let's ask a follow-up question. Considering completed orders, show revenues by each country. Gemini understands the context of our previous question and gives us a breakdown by country. This helps us quickly identify our top markets, with the USA generating significantly higher revenue. Now for a more complex request. Let's ask it to show a trend over time for those top 2 countries. Show revenues for the top 2 countries by month in the last 24 months. Looker processes this multi-step request and visualizes the revenue trend for both the USA and the UK over the last 2 years. Let's find our most valuable customers. I'll provide context on who to interpret as loyal customers, those with the highest lifetime revenue. I'll ask, who are the 10 most loyal customers? Now let's take action. I can ask for more details like their names and emails so I can start an outbound campaign. This is a perfect example of how conversational analytics empowers business users to take action directly from their data. To activate these insights, we can go directly to the Looker Explore view. From here, we can continue to analyze. Save it as a dashboard.
So let's be very clear about what's happening under the hood, because this is the most important part of building trust. You can't just really point a large language model to your database and expect correct answer. An LLM on its own, no matter how powerful, can never really get this 100% correct 100% of the time. Why? Because an LLM is a language expert, not your business expert. It might fail when it comes to hitting a relative date filter when a user says last quarter. So does that mean last 90 days or the last complete calendar quarter? The LLM will guess that. And it might hallucinate when it tries to figure out a complex join across many different tables from your database. And it would definitely invent a number for a complex metric like customer lifetime value because it doesn't know your specific unique business logic. So this is where LookML semantic layer comes in to remove the risk. The large language model job is really simple. Just to understand the user's intent behind the prompt and the question and find the right definition in Looker. You can see from here, Looker will be able to help to map the context and also the exact data element, could be the business metrics, dimensions, filter, and so on. And then Looker will write that final 100% accurate SQL query based on a semantic model. So we are leveraging the large language model for the skill, but we rely on Looker for the trusted data and governance together, working alongside with data from BigQuery. So what did we just see in that demo? The benefit of conversational analytics are clear and impactful. First, you get enhanced decision making because you get confident answer immediately. You're not guessing. Second, you get a massive boost in productivity and efficiency. Your business team are empowered to self-serve, which frees your data team from the endless queues of small requests so they can focus on bigger and more strategic data projects. And third, it fosters innovation and agility. Your teams can finally be curious, ask spontaneous questions, and discover insights you never would have found otherwise. Now, what I've shown you is an incredibly powerful capability inside the Looker platform. But what if you could take this exact trusted conversational experience and put it where your users already are? This is where the platform extensibility become a huge value driver. Because Looker is API first, you can deliver this capability to a much wider audience. Imagine embedding this chat with your chat with data experience directly into your internal company portal or making it available as a bot in your chat app like Google Chat or Slack. Or you could build it into a custom mobile application for your sales team on the go. This is all about taking the same governed trusted data from Looker and delivering it to more audience, more applications securely. Now, let's take a look at a demo of what this conversational experience actually feels like. So what we are seeing here is a white label experience within a data app called Global Gadgets Data Agents. Side by side is actually sitting right next to a dashboard where I can see some performance around sales within Japan. And I can just ask any question in a similar chat with data experience. Here I'm asking about which store sell the mobile device. It's pulling in the data in real time and also visualizing it for us and highlighting the insights. I can even turn on the code interpreter here and leverage the advanced capabilities within Looker to actually help us to ask about let's say a prediction use case of looking at sales in the next 3 weeks as well. Same thing happens. It's the same capabilities, but you can actually see that it's completely white label. It's sitting within the custom application. So meaning that the users don't have to jump across different devices or applications and to get that consistent data experience. Again, all pointing back to the point, we are looking at the trusted, consistent data points, regardless if I'm asking this question right within Looker or if I am asking the same question in a different interface. So now you can see that it's still pretty intuitive and it's catered for any internal and external business audience as well. So now through the conversational analytics API and the integration of data from BigQuery and Looker models, you can now deploy this agentic experience both internally and externally. This means that conversational analytics can be embedded across and expanding a reach significantly. So there are a few key advantages with this approach. One, creating the trusted conversational experience. Just now you've seen from the demo, it enables multi-turn conversations over like AI-powered recommendations. And of course, It offers additional explanation, and you can see the SQL queries itself for trust and for viability. So the transparency builds confidence in the AI-generated insights along the process. Second is really about expanding the addressable market. Imagine you can then integrate it into your existing data application or leverage any out-of-the-box integrations. You can then think about externalizing it not just for your internal audience, but think about that potential with your B2B clients or B2B partners. Last but not least is about fostering exploration and engagement on the same source of truth you have within BigQuery and Looker. By allowing users to ask spontaneous questions, discovering new insights, and quickly adjusting their analysis, this promotes agile decision making all across the value chain. So what we just saw is a complete game changer for business user and data analysts. The entire experience from a really simple question to a complex forecasting was fast, interactive, and most importantly, governed by the semantic layer, ensuring every answer was trustworthy and also having that real-time data coming in from BigQuery. This is how you can empower your teams to be self-sufficient and free your technical experts from that endless backlog of small report requests. But empowering the end user is only one side of the coin. A true modern data platform must also accelerate the work of the technical teams who build and manage this entire data ecosystem in the first place. So in the next session, let me pass it to Gracie. She will walk us through how your data engineers and data scientists can also collaborate with dedicated GenAI agents to build, scale, and innovate faster than ever before. Over to you, Gracie.
Okay, thank you, Frances. Now, let's briefly look at how we can collaborate with GenAI agents in other roles. We already covered the business user, but what about the data engineer? From them, we need to see first what is their pain problem, such as never-ending data cleaning process, complex data transformation requests, or pain in doing troubleshooting. With this, we provide data engineering agent in BigQuery that is currently in preview. This is the first-party agent that designed to automate the complex data engineering task. This agent can automate data cleaning with quality suggestions, super complex data transformations, and even help with AI-powered pipeline generations and troubleshooting. So now your data team, instead of doing the similar things in doing the cleaning data and etc., you can utilize the data engineering agents to help you clean your data and based on the quality suggestions. Similarly, the data science agents automates the key data science task. This agent is now available in the customer collab netbooks and in preview in BigQuery. These agents assist with data wrangling by automating data frame ingestions and cleaning. It helps with data explorations through native visualizations. And most powerfully, it provides AI-powered forecasting using cutting-edge models from Google Research, like TimesFM, and helps automate model evaluations to check accuracy even before deploying to the productions. So now you can think on how many times you can save from building and evaluating your model using these data science agents. So these combinations of BigQuery's power and Looker's clarity delivers the future of data analytics. Looker enables data consumers, whether it's internal or external, to the organizations to self-serve when it came to data analysis. But what are the tangible business results? A Forrester Total Economic Impact study confirmed this. Organizations that using this stack saw a 3.75% increase in sales driven by improved time to market and better data insights. Dramatically improved business user productivity by finally delivering true self-service access to the data. And last but not least, is also improved customer retention, which resulted in profits over 1.4 million. A fantastic example of these actions is Carousel. They scaled their online marketplace by mastering this exact data strategy. First, they achieved centralized data by leveraging BigQuery as their central data warehouse and Looker to provide a single set of data for the entire business. This allows them to perform deep customer analytics to understand behavior and optimize their marketing campaigns. It gives their engineering leaders actionable insights with real-time platform performance monitoring. Ultimately, this achieved through data democratization, making trusted data accessible to every employee to inform the decisions making. And this transformation is happening in every industry, start from retail, nonprofit, gaming to financial. In retail, we have Closier, who moved beyond simple sales reports to empower business teams to answer complex questions about customer lifetime value and product purchase path. They make data from BigQuery beautiful with Looker by creating the most optimal customer experience without relying on constant ad hoc queries from the data team. On the nonprofit side, the North American Blueberry migrated from BigQuery and saw 90% reductions in storage and compute cost, as well as 40% faster query performance and able to provide trusted and BI solutions for the blueberry industry to equip growers and suppliers with a shared data platform. King represents the gaming industry. Some of you might know Candy Crush Saga. So they leverage Looker's LookML modeling layer on top of BigQuery to establish a single source of truth for 7 billion daily game events, eliminating a centralized BI team bottleneck and empowering business teams to rapidly create trusted, personalized analysis and dramatically improve the speed and capacity of critical incident investigations and resolutions. Last but not least, we have Intesa Sanpaolo, the leader in Italy in all business areas, such as retail and corporate banking, and also wealth management, offering its service to 13.7 million customers through a network of over 3,000 plus branches well distributed throughout the country. By building a unified data lab on Google Cloud with Looker and BigQuery, Intesa Sanpaolo reduced the time to complete mandatory regulatory stress tests up to 80% and released the new risk management solutions 20 to 30% faster. The bank also transitioned from quarterly reporting to real-time risk awareness for its risk committee using the Looker dashboard. So with this, you're the next. Let's make your data accessible to everyone with BigQuery, Looker, and Gemini. To summarize, this is your three-step journey. First, centralize your data. Extract and load your key data sources into a single data warehouse like BigQuery. Second, leverage a modern analytics platform. Use Looker to provide the governed self-service analytics layer that delivers value. And third, transform with AI and GenAI agents. Infuse and scale AI across your business to deliver smarter experience for everyone. If you're wondering what's next, I have two great resources for you. First, you can go to our website to learn more about Looker or request a demo. Second, I highly encourage you to continue your on-demand hands-on learning journey with Cloud Skill Boost. There's a fantastic learning path, BI and Analytics with Looker, that has labs and courses for you to get started. Now we're at the end of the sessions, and let's move to the Q&A sessions. In the meantime, you will see a link to a feedback form on the right-hand side of your webinar screen. Please just take a moment to fill it out because your input is incredibly valuable to help us improve these sessions.
Thank you, Gracie. It's good that we are seeing some questions coming in. Again, for all the audience in the room, if you have any question, please feel free to share with us, and we're happy to answer some of the question live in right now. Okay, I'm seeing actually there's a few similar question coming in, and Gracie, can I actually get your help to see if you can share some insights with us? So let me share the question first. So the question is about when Looker runs a query, would it always hit the raw data source table? And if so, how could I actually stop my cloud bill from spiking?
Thank you very much, Frances. Yeah, I screened through the questions and found a very similar questions related to this. So yes, I will answer this one because it's related on Looker and BigQuery as well. So Looker's primary mode of operation is direct query, meaning when user runs a report, Looker generates its optimized SQL in the correct dialect of your database, let's say BigQuery, PostgreSQL, or any other database, and send it to be executed. The results are then returned in a form of lookers for visualizations. So since Looker sends the live SQL to your database for every new query, you need a highly reliable and scalable engine to get the fast results. This is precisely why BigQuery is the perfect partner for Looker. It's an incredibly powerful engine built to handle this exact kind of complex real-time queries that Looker generates. It allows you to query massive datasets with high speed. But your concern is valid. How could I stop my cloud bill from spiking? So to spot your point about managing your cloud bill, Looker itself actually provides essential guardrails for you to not always carrying around expensive tables. The first one is default caching. Looker has a default caching mechanism. If one user runs a query, the results is actually get cached. If another user runs the exact same query soon after, Looker serves the saved results instantly, skipping the database and also the cost entirely. Caching durations is also highly configurable using the data groups. The second one, Looker also have what we call it persistent derivative tables or PDTs. This is one of your main tools for cost optimizations. You can have Looker pre-calculate and store smaller, aggregated summaries table in BigQuery on a set schedule. Users then query these fast, cheap summary tables instead of the massive raw data. And last but not least, Looker is actually also helps you to avoid bill shock by showing an estimate data query that they will scan before you run it, giving you the power to control the cost and proactively. So with this, you can gain the performance without really considering about your cloud bill getting spiky. Yeah, I
Thank
think
you,
that
Gracie. That is a very comprehensive answer. And maybe I can add a little bit more on top as well. Another way to look into it is how we can manage this in a data driven approach. Remember, you can actually bring this data into Looker so that you will have being able to have the transparency across what is actually happening in terms of the query level, what is being generated, what's the usage like. The good news is within Looker, we even have a pre-built data model and dashboard for you to monitor your cloud bill, essentially, which is the cost from BigQuery as well. So meaning that you will have the information and then insights to manage this. And also you have all the technical capabilities of what Gracie have described in order to manage like similar kind of situation. Hope that has answered the question from several of you.
Yep. Hey, Frances, by the way, since you're doing a demo about the conversational analytics just now, surprising there's a lot of people interested with this and some interesting questions around that as well. So does Looker conversational analytics respect all Looker model permissions? How's the security in the conversational analytics?
Okay, that is a pretty interesting question. So we are taking one step further. It's really looking into actually how the whole process looks like when it comes to conversational analytics. A quick answer will be yes. So when a user is using conversational analytics, so they will actually need to select a certain use case to get started. And as part of the selection process in the backend, the Looker platform will actually go and check whatever this user has access to this particular use case, which is defined at the data modeling layer, which is part of the data governance definition. In case if a certain users have no data access to that particular use case, they won't be able to use conversational analytics and ask questions around it, even though if they have granted access to that particular capability. So it goes back to the point, actually Looker has that well-defined governance framework with regards both to controlling who can do a certain capabilities and also who can use a certain, who can access certain kinds of data, and that is consistent across the BI experience, which is across the dashboard, or maybe like interacting within a self-service drag and drop, or even when it comes to conversational analytics as well. I hope that has answered your question.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a very solid answer from Francis. And I think there's also some other questions still related on the security part. How would Gemini in Google Cloud, basically all of the model that is embedded in the AI, such as the dashboard summary or conversational agents, using the customer data that is injected to the prompt? Will let's say Google use the data to train the models, or how does it work?
I can answer that. The quick answer is no. So regardless of what AI or GenAI use cases that we are talking about. So we are talking about, it's more like, will Gemini use your company data or use it to, let's say, train our like large language model? The quick answer is Google Cloud does not use customer data to train the foundation model as part of our privacy commitment. So this can ensure that all the data that you're bringing in for all GenAI use cases is still going to be retained in your trusted environment. And this is our commitment. We are actually one of the first in the industry to have this kind of AI and machine learning privacy commitment. And it actually have to believe that customers should have the highest level of security and control over your data that is stored in the cloud. And for us, we will ensure that all of our teams will follow the same commitment for a really robust like data governance practice. I hope
Yeah,
I've answered your question.
for this one, I also want to add something on top of the AI security in GCP as well, especially in Google Cloud. So all of the model that we store in Google Cloud, we store it as a foundational model, and all of our foundational model is actually frozen model. So any prompt or any request that you send to our model will not affecting or will not improve our model. Even if you're doing your extra training model and etc., in Google Cloud, it will create as a form of adaptive layer. So it will not touch our base foundational Gemini layer. So even if you're using AI in Google Cloud, you don't need to worry that your data will be used for us to train our model, because your data is still your data and Google will never use your data to train our model. So don't be worried using AI in Google Cloud. Yep.
Thanks, Gracie. Well, we're seeing so many questions coming in. Let's take a look.
Okay, I think I see a lot of questions about the Looker API as well. Maybe, Francis, you can help with this. How can developers leverage Looker's API to embed analytics into a custom applications? I think it's related to your demo about the global gadget, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, so actually this can be extended into a much longer conversation, but I'll try to give you a quick answer. So I think earlier we have set the scene that for Looker architecture, it comes with an API first architecture, meaning in the backend, we have lots and lots of API methods and tools that can help you to automate certain tasks or extend the capabilities. In particular, for your question asking around embedded analytics, is meaning like you can deliver that analytical content. It can be a dashboard, it can be a self-service explorer, or even that chat interface into a custom application. And you have two ways. Actually, the fastest go-to-market approach is to embed an iframe. So meaning that, let's say you have built a dashboard already, you want to externalize it to showcase to your end clients or your partners, you can simply plug in an iframe. It can still build in with additional process in the background supported by the API. Let's say how you can do single sign-on aligned with your existing user directory in the application. We can facilitate that. Or otherwise, if you want to do something that's a little bit more custom and extensible, we have the API method as well. So we have both options for you to embed the analytics experience into any custom application. And it applies for different kinds of device type as well, not just for a web interface, but the same goes for, let's say, a mobile application as well. The whole idea is that we have all these tools that is available. Instead of you thinking about not just to maintain your or develop your custom application, but then need to develop something like Looker that has all the whole different layers from the backend, all the way from data connection, SQL engine, being able to have that analytics experience, a user-friendly front end, and also all the other governance that is built in as well. So this is the value of the having the API first architecture, especially when it comes to embedded analytics use case.
Okay, thank you very much for the answers question. Francis. I think there's some other questions. Maybe we can go with one of the hot demand questions as well. Do we need to migrate the data to cloud to use Looker?
Okay, that is also a good question. I guess now everyone is starting to think about like how you can really go through the journey, right? Like we talk about the journey where you need to centralize your data first, which is the recommended approach, and then you can connect to Looker. So let me recap a few things. First thing first, we did mention about like the integration between Looker and BigQuery, but of course, Looker can actually work with any SQL-based database or data warehouse, regardless if it is cloud or not cloud. So meaning if it is a case with an on-premise database, actually Looker can still connect to it. Well, let's say you have an on-premise SQL server. We can still connect to that database. We can still being able to have a real-time connection from there, handling the authentication. And then whenever a certain users open a dashboard, we'll still be able to query the data via that. And then in terms of the technical setup, just a little bit highlight, and we can still maintain like a secure way of connecting to the on-premise database. Usually, the recommended approach is actually via SSH tunnel. I hope that has answered your question.
Thank you very much, Francis, for the answers. So I think it seems like we're already at the time. We're answering a lot of questions, a lot of enthusiasm we see for Looker as well, and also BigQuery. So I'd like to say thank you very much all for your time and also your attentions. So before you log off, we would like to extremely grateful for your feedback. You will see a link to a feedback form on the right-hand side of your webinar screen. Please take just a moment to fill it out because your input is incredibly valuable and help us to improve these sessions. Yep. Anything else you want to add from your end, Francis?
I think that's all. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your interest and time. And please feel free to share with us the feedback so that we can know how to enhance the future sessions as well. And we really love the momentum of all the questions that you have shared. We know that like you're excited about this. So look out for some of the like subsequent series that we will come back to share more with you around all things on data analytics, BigQuery, Looker, and also the whole GenAI experience and all the innovations as well. So stay tuned.